is petrol out. You put petrol in, you take petrol out. You put petrol in and you shake the tax about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn
I can remember I was having a great time.
What happens when you turn right around? You're back to where you were
I never
before.
dreamt it would be get one scintilla of anyone's attention, and that's not why I did it. I was just doing my work as a coalition senator in the parliament.
I thought it was brilliant. That's typical Mary Jo. That's exactly what she's on about. Since then, people have seen it as part of her problem. It's not. That's her personality. She would have done that regardless.
I was having a fabulous time. What was wrong with everybody else? But that was after a really long period and then preceded a subsequent period of, well, yeah, deep, dark melancholy where you go into this place that's so dark you can't imagine you can ever get out of it. I never thought I'd be a politician. I never really thought about it. My drive was I want to help people, and politics is the best way to do that. I did want to do things for country people, for rural communities. I wanted to do things in the employment space.
I think it's fair to say that the Senate, for a start, for the first period, actually improved her position. But as the pressure started to build over time, it made it harder for her to function in the way which public figures are required to function.
There are plenty of colourful characters in Parliament, but there are also lots of conservative personalities, and I think they would have found my behaviour rather bizarre for a lot of the time in any event.
She was consistently missing early morning meetings. She was consistently not being ready really to go to Canberra when she needed to go to Canberra.
I would interject at entirely inappropriate times. I'd laugh at things that I would think are hilarious and wonder why's no one else laughing? You know, you look back and you realise that behaviour was probably pretty bizarre, but it had been developing for a long, long period of time, so I didn't notice the difference. John had been saying for a long time, you've got issues, you need to change your behaviour.
So in the end I wrote her a letter, posted it to our Canberra unit, which was fun, so that she could read it without me being about.
I don't think I'd ever got a letter from John, ever. And this was one of his best, and it was a bastard of a letter. It was very hard to read, but essentially he was saying he wanted back the girl he married, and that if he didn't get her back, she would make some mistakes.
It was not long after that she started to try and find a psychiatrist she could go and see. It's a big issue though for somebody in the public eye. You can't just wander into a psychiatrist and say, I'm a senator and I'd like to see what the hell's wrong with me.
How the heck do I get help without it becoming public that I'm suffering from a mental illness? Because if I am, well, how can I then do my job? Yeah, I think this is an offence, but of course we used a false name for me, you know, and the psychiatrist knew that. But yeah, that's the charade we went through. I don't think even John knew. John didn't know what we were grappling with. He just knew that if I didn't change the things that I was doing and how I was doing them, then something was going to happen, and he was right.
Some breaking news for you this evening. South Australian police have confirmed that a federal Liberal Senator, Mary Jo Fisher, is facing charges of shoplifting and assault.
Mary Jo Fisher has little or no memory of what she did on the night she's accused of shoplifting and assault. The senator can't recall taking $90 of fruit and vegetables without paying.
South Australian Liberal Senator Mary Jo Fisher has broken down in tears.
Oh, well, you have to face up. you know. You're accountable to the public. There was no hiding from it. I had to be accountable, but I didn't feel that I was in control of what had happened.
You never like to see somebody that you're close to do things which you know they know are not right. I certainly didn't predict that the sort of straw that would break the camel's back would be walking into a shop and getting so confused that she didn't pay for some of the items.
Did you ever imagine that it would happen the second time?
No, of course not, because no. And all that I can say is that was a day I should never have gone out, and I had a sense of foreboding. As soon as that happened, I thought I have to resign. The most difficult, horrible decision I've made in my life, but I didn't anguish over it, you know, because it was a no-brainer. I had to go.
It's clearly devastating. You know, she's always been a public person. She's always been somebody that liked the public profile. To walk away from that is a really big step for anybody. And it was a really big step for her.
I was totally lost because, you know, the pinnacle of helping people, I destroyed that ability by my own hand, one way or the other. That's pretty soul destroying when that's been, you know, it sounds corny, but that's been my raison d'etre for as long as I can remember. I was totally lost until just before the end of all my court stuff, and only a couple of weeks, I think, after I'd resigned, you know, get a phone call out of the blue from my now CEO saying, "I've got a job to do, want you to do it." And I'll never forget saying, I thought I was the nut job. You know, I could yet be a felon. Are you for real? And he said, yes. Forget about all of that. That just makes you accessible to me when you wouldn't otherwise be, at a price I can now afford. That gave me the first step back to being able to get back to help people again. My name's Mary Jo. I'm bipolar, and it's been 2 years and 2 days since I had an episode. When you're bipolar, you don't just get the depression and the anxiety, you also get a huge high, which is called the manic phase or mania.
She gets a lot of very good feedback when she talks to people about her experience, her difficulties, what she's been through.
Everything was already out there, so why hide? And as I started to get better, this is now my opportunity to help people. I can't start my day until I've done, you know, the physical jerks, and it needs to involve a lot of sweat, a lot of grunting. Every day, I reckon since I was 18, I might have missed 5 days, probably. You know, it doesn't matter. Christmas Day, that's my birthday. Rain, hail, shine, I'm out there doing it. I like to think today that I can focus on things and go from A to Z and get tasks done. I don't constantly beat myself up, so long as I have my exercise. You know, I don't mind being remembered as that nut job from the Senate. I don't mind that at all, because politicians are humans. They're human beings too. So I don't mind that bit, but I also want, provided that that is coupled with that nut job from the Senate who used what happened then to help other people.